Madam Attorney General, yesterday, Erez Ruveni filed a whistleblower complaint against the Department of Justice. As I think you know, he was a 15-year veteran of the Department of Justice. He received commendations during the first Trump administration for all his work at DOJ, but he filed a detailed account of his recent experience at the Department of Justice, saying that prior to his determination, that he was terminated after he refused to sign an appeal brief that was unsupported by evidence or the law. And he says, "I didn't sign up to lie." In response to his termination, you made a statement on Fox News a little while ago saying, "At my direction, every Department of Justice attorney is required to zealously advocate on behalf of the United States, and that any attorney who fails to abide by this direction will face consequences." So, General Bondi, I guess the direct question is, he says he was fired because he didn't want to make an untruthful statement to a court of law. I have two questions. Number one, I assume you agree that zealous advocacy does not mean telling untruths to courts of law. And second, if that's not the case, what did you mean by saying he was not a zealous advocate?
Senator Van Hollen, this is all pending litigation, as you're well aware, and the timing of it, I can't discuss pending litigation. This is a whistleblower lawsuit pending within my office, but I will say the timing of it I find suspect, as he takes hits at Emil Bovee, who is one of the best human beings I know, one of the smartest, brilliant men I know, who will soon become a federal judge. And his hearing happens to be today, and I find the irony of the timing of it pretty remarkable, the lawsuit. But this had to do with attorney-client privilege information that was disclosed. I can't talk about the substance, but what I will tell you, and you have obviously my word, any zealous advocacy means to be done ethically and honestly, always. And that's what I mean by zealous advocacy. He also accused Emil Bovee of things that Todd Blanche, who is one of the best human beings I also know, my Deputy Attorney General, was in the room and said did not happen. But again, I wish I could get into greater detail. I can't because it's pending. But I stand by Emil Bovee and I stand by Todd Blanche every day, and I always will.
Well, Madam Attorney General, I will say that his account seems to have lots of information. So as you say, this will obviously be something that's litigated or reviewed through due process procedures. But I have to say that it's very, very disturbing. We've also heard from others in other departments who are responsible for implementing the laws of the United States, that they feel uncomfortable about having been asked to do things that they thought were unethical. Let me go on to some of the budget questions, and I really want to follow up on my colleagues, Senator Moran and Senator Collins. But the DOJ grant funding is being sort of cut back on two fronts. One, in April, the department terminated hundreds of grant awards, notifying grantees that their current grant funds were gone, effective immediately. That included, law enforcement training grants, technical assistance awards, some dating back to fiscal year, I think, 2017. So, question number one is, are you going to be releasing those funds? The second concern regarding grants has to do with the monies that were appropriated in this fiscal year, in March. And my understanding is that DOJ is withholding an overwhelming number of notices of funding opportunities, NOFOs, meaning that grantees who rely on these grants, including many who provide services to victims of crimes, are literally, in some cases, running out of money. For example, the department's biggest grant-making component, the Office of Justice Programs, has only posted one
A stunning whistleblower complaint has sent shockwaves through the Department of Justice. A 15-year veteran attorney alleges he was fired for refusing to sign a legal brief he believed was dishonest. The Senate hearing quickly turned into a tense showdown, as Attorney General Bondi faced tough questions about integrity, accountability, and the treatment of federal attorneys. Let's break down the key moments you need to know. Senator Van Hollen opened the exchange by highlighting the whistleblower complaint filed by Erez Ruvini, a seasoned DOJ attorney who served under multiple administrations. Ruvini's claim? He was terminated after refusing to sign an appeal brief that lacked evidence and legal basis. His words were direct. "I didn't sign up to lie." This immediately raised serious concerns about whether DOJ lawyers are being pressured to cross ethical lines to zealously advocate, even if that means bending the truth. Attorney General Bondi pushed back firmly. She emphasized that zealous advocacy must always be ethical and honest. She defended senior DOJ officials, calling the whistleblower's timing suspect, noting it coincided with the nomination hearing of a key DOJ figure, Amal Bo, to a federal judgeship. Bondi cited pending litigation as the reason she couldn't dive into details, but made it clear she stands by her top deputies, calling them some of the best human beings she knows. The senator didn't stop there. He noted that Ruvini's account isn't an isolated case. Others within the DOJ have reportedly expressed discomfort with directives they considered unethical. This raises a critical question. Are internal pressures compromising the DOJ's mission to uphold justice with integrity? The hearing underscored that this isn't just about one whistleblower, it's about the culture.
Component, the Office of Justice Programs has only posted one notice for fiscal year 25, no-fo notice. So if you could answer the question with respect to both those pieces.
Sure, and that's a very valid question, Senator. The notices will be going out in coming weeks about the grants. And we did cut grants by 6%, and I'm here to tell every senator, if we did cut a grant that you care about that is specific to your state, please contact me. I've turned on grants that were cut off. So please, if that happens, there's an appeal process, but you can pick up the phone and you can call me, and I would be more than happy to look at that. I never want to take away a grant that is actually helping Americans, helping victims, helping law enforcement, and we're looking at it on a case-by-case basis, and many of those are being appealed already, but you have my word, we will look at all of those, absolutely.
Thank you. And in terms of the other piece of the question, when the notices for information will go out, because the fiscal year obviously is, running out, and we are hearing from lots of entities that are waiting for those notices so they can apply for the grant funding.
Yeah, yes, Senator. The notice of funding is consistent with our priorities, and they're finalizing it right now. It will be going out very shortly.
Very shortly. All right. Thank you.
It'll be posted on a rolling basis, too, I believe.
Okay. If you could just keep us posted on that. And I would appreciate it, Madam Attorney General, if you could have your team or respond to a letter that about 30 senators wrote to you on this topic of the prior fiscal year funds that were frozen.
I will make sure they look at that letter. I think we've received probably thousands of letters.
You've gotten lots of letters. But we really do need, in order to do our job, to get responses. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Attorney General couldn't be higher. The whistleblower case could become a defining moment, testing how far the department is willing to go to defend its actions and whether internal dissent is truly protected. As this story unfolds, one thing is clear: the Senate isn't backing down, and neither is the whistleblower. This could set a precedent for future DOJ accountability battles. What do you think was the whistleblower right to refuse? Or was DOJ simply enforcing standards? Share your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more in-depth political coverage straight from Capitol Hill.